Happy Friday, everyone. So, we are back to talk a little bit more about dismantling people pleasing. And this week, what I wanted to talk with you about was masks versus tasks. Now, we know that we have a part to play in everything we do, whether that's going to school, going to work, spending time with family, our loved ones. But there is a difference between how we connect with others and sometimes how we connect and stay connected with ourselves. And these are the tasks that we do. So masks are something that we maybe how we dress, how we speak, how we come across to other people. And with that, sometimes that will change. So I know where I live and our community, we kind of dress a certain way. But sometimes we go to another community and you can see, oh, there's a difference in how they dress there. Or when I was in Europe, it's very different there. I know when I lived in France, it was a dead giveaway when you would see someone with sneakers. You're like, okay, that's a tourist. And versus here in America, even the length of our pants are actually typically shorter than what we would see in France or Italy. So there's lots of ways that we engage with others. Also, sometimes the way we speak. One of the things I learned back in the day when I was a financial advisor, one of the sales trainings that I had gone through was how to see when catch yourself actually when you were engaging with someone from the place of maybe a child, or maybe how you're talking to someone as an authoritative adult to them, and you want to catch yourself there, because sometimes someone will ask you or tell you to do something. It could be a boss or a friend or a spouse, and the way they speak to you in a parental way. But it's up to you to recognize, I'm not going to respond from a child point of view. I'm going to respond as the adult. And I'm going to let them know that they are not my parent. That's not appropriate. And that's how you respect boundaries. And sometimes you need the boundaries are in place, so then you can keep a separation between masks and tasks in your life. So it's sometimes not it's not what someone asks you to do, it's how they say it. So you can respond back as an adult, not as a child, and let them know that I hear what you're saying, but I'm here in this role, and I accept the task, but you will address them back as an adult, not as a child. And that's what I really wanted to talk to you a lot about today, was masks versus tasks, and how boundaries, and just realizing certain aspects of engaging with others, because then you can retain your authentic self and how you respond to people, and also how you respond to yourself. Because if you accept people and what they want you to do as a child, well, then you're always going to wear that mask as a child, and you won't really grow into your own and discover not only more about the world, but about yourself, and just unleashing that authentic self of yourself, part of yourself, and just pleasing others. Because really, a lot of times when we respond to people, we want to please them. We want them to like us. We want to fit in. But there's a difference between performing tasks and wearing masks. I also, when I was in that field, I would see, I dealt with a lot with money and financial planning for people. I probably did over 200 in 1 year, but it really clarified for me that when you write things, the numbers don't lie. So when you see certain tasks and actions that you need to take in order to have a healthy current situation, as well as a future situation in life, it's about performing the tasks. But what I found, sadly, was that so many times others would want to retain a mask for others out of pleasing them, or um, kind of giving into other people's fears or their own fears, saying, well, I don't want to end up on the street. But if you just followed the tasks in order to set yourself up or restrain yourself from buying or doing certain things, that you're actually being much more authentic to yourself and what you need to do, and not worry about what other people think or what they fear. Again, like I've said in the past, that sometimes it comes from childhood. Sometimes we pick up our parents' fears, or others in the family. Maybe you have a rich someone in the family, and they say, "Oh, if you do things this way, that way, you'll make a lot of money and you won't have any problems." Well, you're still taking on their goals, and then once they get it, well, it's all about retaining it, whatever it is, retaining their beauty, retaining their money. And then you're in your mode of fear. And that's something too that can make you hold on to a mask, is someone else's fear. Misery loves company. So when we do look at these things that we learn as a child, as a young adult, even as an adult, it's important to remember that they, people don't want to be alone, and sometimes in their own misery and their own fears. And that could be in financial masks. It could be unhealthy eating. It could be drinking. It could be any kind of numbing yourself. I actually just finished listening on tape to Matthew McConaughey's book, Greenlights. That was my car audio book that I was listening to recently. And at first I was like, I'm not too sure what this is going to be. Just a movie star, just blabbing away. He already has everything. Honestly, that's what I thought. But I have to give the dude credit. When he hit the point in the book, it was probably midway through there, where he spoke about leaving everything, and multiple times, to go to a monastery or into the desert or go to Africa, just till he left everything behind and he dropped his masks and he just reconnected with himself. I was like, okay, he's the real deal. I just give him a lot of credit for that. And I could definitely relate, because I go to typically a monastery in New York over the Hudson. And I'll go there typically a couple times a year just to leave everything behind, including the screen, because when you engage in screen time, I don't care if it's you're watching a series or on your phone, whatever, that you're not listening to yourself. You are relaxing, but all you're doing is really just picking up someone else's mask. You're not taking off your own mask and listening to yourself. So I give him a lot of credit for doing that, because when we hold on to masks, in time they become very heavy, and we don't even know who we are any longer, because we get caught up in who we want others to see us as, or And that's how we let go of our own values. So when we pick up someone else's, we are leaving ourselves to the wayside. So that's why it's very important to periodically let down a mask. I'm not saying that we don't all, um, like I said, associate maybe in our communities or when we go somewhere. I know even when I go to the monastery, right when I get there, I actually physically, I drop my stuff off in my little room, and I leave everything and I go shower immediately because I want to just leave physically, metaphorically, just everything behind me and just be very, very simple. There's no makeup, no, um, I don't care. I just wear comfortable clothing, very simple, and I'm just very quiet and I absorb myself. And that's where your tasks actually should come from. Your tasks should come from who you are, what your values are. And then when you come out into the rest of the world, then you can layer on some of the other tasks that are part of your life, whether it's your job or your family life. But the calendar is very important to help you structure those important tasks that will help you lead you to where you need to go, whether that's financial, physical, spiritual. That's what that calendar is important for you to block in important times for yourself. Next week, I'm going to talk about your space, your sacred space, and making sure you have emotional and physical place for yourself. So I'm not going to go into that, but I just wanted to make sure that we had an idea of just separating the mask from the tasks in life and how to break free from that. Because if you don't break free and know the mask, know when to take it off and know when it's on you, then you won't understand your authentic self and align with your goals and values in your tasks, your daily tasks. Because time goes by so quickly, as we know. Um, it's it's funny. I would like to think of time in a sense of seasons. So think how many summers, we're coming up on summer now, how many summers do you have until you complete your next decade? I mean, I'm 56, so I have four more summers, only 4 more summers, which includes this year. I only have 4 summers left until I'm 60. And then I only have 10 more summers after that till I'm 70. And remember how small that season is and how short it is and how precious it is. So don't waste your time on being weighed down by a mask or goals of others. There's a place and a purpose for things. As Matthew McConaughey said when he talked about, he'd go out and he'd try to make different movies, and then at some point he'd say, well, I need to put down the mask. And then he would look at himself and then come out and try something different. So he went from the rom-com movies, all the party movies, to the rom-com movies, to the drama. But that's the beautiful thing about life, is that you can try different things, put on different masks, and just try different things that might fit you, whether it's a career, just traveling, just different adventures in your life, and recognize when that season has finished, and then regroup, look at yourself, your values, and then come out and say, okay, I'm going to organize my tasks and say, I'm going to go in this direction, and see how that, what you learn about yourself. Last week I shared about trees and how we grow through life, and every season of growth is so important, and that you embrace it and try um, different ones in order to appreciate who you are at every stage you're in. And I also wanted to mention, sometimes we do things, talking about little trees. The apple sometimes doesn't fall far from the tree. So you want to be aware of generational habits and identities that maybe can be a little, pushed upon you. And sometimes it's something that we struggle with ourselves. What I also appreciated about Matthew's book, of course it's fresh in my mind, was when he looked at his family members, he spoke about the things that he admired about them. Yes, he pointed out their flaws. I think we can all connect to that, because when we look at our family, who we love and know the most, that's where the biggest challenge comes from, because there are no masks within the family. And that's where the biggest challenges are. And I have found that if we look to what we love about our parents, or love, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it all depends on your family dynamic, but things you appreciate about your parents, and leave the rest aside. That's how you can really take that seed and let that grow as part of you. So I can sit here and say, my mother can be extremely scary. Okay. My little brother's friends used to call her the dragon lady. All right. She was scary. She will intimidate anyone. All right. But what I say is, she's also very courageous. And that is the part that I embrace of her. And then on my father's side, he was always looking for the next best whatever business. And he was a trucker. Then at one point he was a farmer of peaches. But what I do admire about him was he would engage with anyone and anything. He was this comes from this old Italian family, and he was very creative, and he just had a gift of gab. So hence, that's what you see right here. And those are the things I embrace. Now, the other things are pieces for me to bring about from my own internal value and lessons and life experience. I don't hang on to their lives experience or what they would like for me to do. But that's how you create your own identity. I don't know what to say. You don't need it. Then you don't need a mask. One other thing, let me check the time, because I said I just wanted, chat with you during kind of break time. But I wanted to give you a tip. And of course, I don't have what I want here right now, but it is my semi-annual cleansing time. That means no alcohol, no caffeine, no starches. All the fun stuff is done for a month. So I do this for a month. So I don't have a potato, and that's what I wanted to have for you, but I don't have one now. But I learned this once, actually in Spain. I was in Spain doing the El Camino, and a lovely lady who I stayed with there, I rented a room from her, and she showed me this potato, and she shared with me, and I'll share with you this gift. is that what she learned was she showed me this potato, and what that potato was it represented a fear. So maybe this week you'll think about taking a potato and make a face on it. Just make a face on it. Anything you want, be creative. I don't care. You can get as fancy or as simple as you want. And let that potato represent your fear of whatever it is in life right now, at this moment. And I'd like you to carry around the potato with you and be kind to it. Listen to it, embrace it, and make friends with something that you are fearful of. And I would love to hear back from you. If you have the chance to do that, I would love to hear back. Maybe a picture of your potato. Um, anything. I would love to see how you felt about it and what that did for you over the course of the week. And just celebrate who you are and any things that make you different. But think about the masks that you wear this week and how your tasks and your values align with that mask. And give me any feedback or any revelations or anything you struggled with on that. Let me know, because I would love to hear how this activity and just how you get the chance to look at yourself versus what you may do in your life. See how they align and sometimes how they don't align. And take a little bit of time. Maybe you could even write them down in at the end of your day, right? What mask did I wear today? And did my tasks align with who I brought forth into the community and around my friends and family and others this week? And I will see you next Friday at 10:30. Have a great day and enjoy the weekend. Bye-bye.